The cycle of abuse starts off with, a relationship. They start dating. No one starts off completely violent in the beginning. There's a bunch of red flags at the beginning of a relationship. When someone is overly nice, someone might be a little controlling, but does it for your own good. They start off sweet and get you into this relationship because no one is going to start off a relationship showing all their true colors, no matter if it's abusive or regular relationship. And once that starts happening, the tension phase starts going on. Little things start to annoy the partner. Little things will set them off. So the victim will start changing her own behaviors, start tiptoeing around the abuser until one thing sets them off and it becomes this violent explosion. Usually after this violent explosion is the honeymoon phase. They say, "I'm sorry, I love you, I'll never do that again." Presents are bought, promises are made. And so the victim either doesn't report or doesn't leave, thinks that everything's gonna be okay, and then it starts again, the tension phase, the little things that start to get to the abuser. And then the explosion phase happens again. And slowly this honeymoon stage stops being about, "I love you, I'm sorry, I would never do this again," to, "If you wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have had to do this back to you. I wouldn't have had to show you how mad I was at you. I wouldn't have had to teach you a lesson, to shove you, to punch you. It's your fault." And this cycle breaks down the victim's self-esteem so much that they start believing that it's their fault. They start thinking that if they would have done something better, they wouldn't have had to have been punished. And this abuse is a punishment to them. They did something and there's consequences to it. So it breaks down their self-esteem so much that they don't think that they can deserve better. They do deserve better. They don't think that anyone else is gonna love them like this person loves them. They also remember those honeymoon phases when the person treated them right, called them sweet names, said "I love you," bought them presents. And now they're this abusive person, but they think it's their fault. They believe that they deserved it, that they don't deserve anything better than what they're getting. And so this cycle continues going round and round until this violence escalates. The honeymoon phase is completely gone, and it could lead to very serious injuries and possibly even death.
I met my husband at work, and we both had really good jobs. We dated for about a year. Then we got married, and everything was fine. There was never an indication of violence or anything that could, alert me to any possible violence. And we both had great jobs with the government, and we were doing very well. We bought a house, and we were like the perfect upper middle class family.
Well, when I turned 19, I thought I had the man of my dreams. It started out real good for the first 2 years. Then it all started kicking in.
In all 4 of my relationships, the violent relationships, it generally starts out as a honeymoon phase, which is beautiful, it's sweet, it's wonderful.
Then it'll start off being mean and nasty and talking about you and saying bad things to you. It just starts slow.
It took a very long time for me to figure out that this person, these people that I was with, were abusive. They didn't show any signs at all. I didn't know what mental abuse was.
If I had gone on a first date with him and he'd have punched me in the head, I promise you I would have never gone out with him again, and that's not what it is. That's not what they do.
When you first get together, there is that honeymoon stage. It's like, oh, everything is bliss. It's wonderful.
They come to you, they're all, nice, like take you out to dinner, want to dine, and, spoil you just like a little kid.
You become more comfortable with each other. And now I get to open up and I get to reveal a little bit of myself to this person, right? Let's see how they're gonna react to it, right? As the tensions build up, as whether it be monetary, whether it be, emotional, whatever the tensions that begin to build.
From that point, it goes into a search on their part, a search to find the mental or the emotional weakness to start that control inside.
We were together 14 years, and as the years got on, he got progressively more and more violent.
Suddenly, you don't even know what's going on. One minute they'll tell you, well, don't fix your hair that way, fix it this way. Or don't wear those clothes, wear this clothes, and stuff like that. And don't talk that way, talk this way. I don't know, just little stuff like that. And then they always try to control you and try to tell you what to do and what to wear and how to talk. And that's how it started off, just subtly. I mean, you don't even know what's happening.
Why is there a Matchbox car sitting on the floor? Didn't you get little Johnny to pick his toys up this evening? Why are there dishes in the sink? One dish in the sink. Why are there dishes in the sink? Weren't you supposed to wash the dishes after you prepared the meal?
You've held things in, you haven't let things out, you haven't expressed anything, and the next cycle is boom! It blows up.
He's hitting me like this, like that, in the arm all the time.
One day he came home, he put a gun to my head, and I thought something's not right here.
He picked up a coffee mug and smacked me in the head with it.
That guy would come back, that funny, sensitive, caring, loving man would come back and he'd apologize. I'm so sorry, I'm just so stressed from work. Please don't break up our family, please. And okay, I would try.
You know, I'm sorry. Let's be friends, let's take some time out, go see other people, and then, try to rejoin. And then when we rejoin, that's when it starts all over again.
I thought everything was my fault. And I thought that I could make it better if only I would lose a few pounds, if only I didn't burn dinner, if only the kids were more quiet, if only I vacuumed the right way. And of course that was not true.
I didn't have a problem. Everybody else had a problem. She has a problem. She made me do this. She's setting off the buttons. She's the one it's all her fault. And I'm doing what I'm doing because she's the one that's making me react this way.
Where you're like, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe if I would have been here instead of at the hospital with my kid who got struck by a van on his bicycle, then maybe I could have fixed dinner and changed the kids' diapers and this and that and the other.
Violence escalated by first, of course, verbal pretty much, every day past the 2nd month mark. And then it escalated into hitting. At first it was fun, playful, and then it got really bad. It got really serious to where I would have bruises everywhere. Everywhere. I can't even tell you how many bruises I would have in my body.
He always carried a gun, so I was always afraid. And he threatened me more than once. He put it in my body parts and clicked the trigger. It was just unbelievable.
He showed up at this church function with a Bowie knife, threatened several of the deacons, turned around, stuck the knife in my face, and told me that if he couldn't have me, nobody else would.